Yogesh, what's up, buddy? I hope you're doing good. So, first of all, thanks a lot for booking our audit at our launch, and we're really excited to have you. So, yeah, currently I'm in a bubble editor. I went through all your app, and I really appreciate the work you did with the product, with the build, with the workflows, design, and the database. It was really good. So, as far as the index page and the job listing page goes, I recognize a few things that can be improved and that can decrease your page load speed and make your app feel more snappier. So yeah, let's dive into those. Currently I'm on the index page, and the first thing that I have here is this repeating group that you see here. What it's doing is doing a search for job in the page load, applying a lot of constraints, showing that in a repeating group. What I would recommend in this case is you can create a separate data type called featured featured jobs, and using some backend workflow, you could apply these constraints there, and you could add all those items that match these constraints under this new data type, so that whenever you call this data on page load, it doesn't have to search for all and apply constraints. It's just going to simply call this data type and just show anything that you have here. One of the most benefit that you would gain is doing this in a backend workflow is, first of all, nobody's compromising on performance in your app, and secondly, you could perform all these somewhat complicated constraints in your backend, and you could have the value of this printed out and saved in your database. No need to do any juggling and calculating on the front end, putting bubble to work, when you could just delegate it to backend. So you could create a backend workflow and have this data type contain all the fields that you need right here, and the backend workflow, this is going to go through all your jobs and apply these constraints, do all the logic, and add those fields here, and you could regularly update those. Updating that would be a few extra workflows to add, but nobody's compromising on front end performance, so you could easily delegate that in the backend, and would be very good on page load speed, because now you don't have to do all these constraints, calculations, so whatever you have in the front end. So the home page would get free of all of that, and it's going to load faster. So that was for the index page. What I saw here is a very crucial thing that is impacting your load speed and calling the data is in this repeating group that you have here. Let me just show it. What you're doing is you're doing search for all jobs, you're applying constraints, you're doing filtered, you're doing all here, and so this filter contains value from the front end. So this filter is going to be applied on the front end, not in the back end. If this filter contains some value which didn't has anything to do from the front end, get any data from the front end, then this would be a back-end task, like a task when you are calling bubble, and all the calculation would made on the servers. But now it has to collect data from here, and this gets pretty a lot of work to do in front end and to load all those things. So actually there's a lot of work. One more thing that you're doing here, that is you're searching for all the jobs, and you're loading all this information the job has. These are all the different fields, but you don't need all of them right here. So there's a lot of fields like the apply URL, OG image, and the rest of the things that you don't need right here, but still Bubble is loading that for you whenever you are calling this data type, and just loading unnecessary things, right? So what I would recommend here is the same thing using a backend workflow. what you could do is you could create a separate data type, and that data type is going to be used whenever you're showing the list, whenever you're showing all the items in a repeating group for people to browse and then go to a specific page of a specific item. But this data type is going to be for the repeating group that you have here. What I would recommend you to do is you could create a separate data type with all the fields that are required here. Create a backend workflow which goes through all the jobs, applies all the constraints that you're applying here, filters through all the things, does all these calculations, and prints this into simple text, which could be easily stored in your new data type here. Whatever you're going to create, the name you're going to give, but it's going to store all that in a separate data type. So what you're essentially doing is you're separating the stuff that needed in the list page and the stuff that are needed in actual item page. So we know that whenever somebody clicks with group, is the person goes to a specific item page where they get all the details of this job. But when you load all those information, the application doesn't need it. So you could you could create a backend workflow. You could perform all the logic in the backend and create all those fields right here and source that from this new data type, rather than calling the job database, loading all the unnecessary data that you don't need, applying filters, applying constraints. It's a lot of job to do for Bubble when you can easily delegate it and just give it to the backend to do. So when you do this, when you have a separate data type with all your calculations and filters performed for your repeating group, obviously that's not for the individual item page, because that is going to contain all the information that we have right here, and it's the job data type is perfect for that purpose, for showing a single item. But when you're showing a list, you got to create a different data type which only has all the information that is only needed. You could make some compromises here and there, but that's not much of a point. But you could easily create a separate data type and call that whenever you need a repeating group. And to link to the parent job, to the expanded version of this item and this new data type, what you could do is you could just add a expanded job thing where where the field type is going to be job. So it relates to that data type and that exact field where it's expanded into more detail, and you could just perform a workflow and send to that page. So doing that would really impact your page load speed, and this is going to make your repeating group loads faster. No more extra stuff to do in the front end. And that's what we had for the jobs page and the index page. So I hope you found it useful. The theme that you'd probably recognize from the few instructions that I give you to decrease your load speed is using databases properly, so that it only loads the information that it needs. And whenever you're doing filters and all those things, if it's if the filters are on a less volume and less complicated, you could do it in the front end and not much. It won't affect much. But in your case, I think there are a lot of numbers and things to go through for Bubble, so you could just easily take that off entirely and give it the Bubble servers to handle it, and you'll be pretty good on your performance on both of these pages. So and one more thing you could do is this individual job group that you have. This is currently not a reusable element. It contains all the logic and all the inputs which are being sourced from the database, and it's going to display in the front end. You are wherever you are adding that reusable card to. So what I mean is you could create just to say it in a short way, you could create a reusable element which has all the designs and all the fields already made there. You could gain a little bit of performance kickback from there too. So yeah, I think the reusable elements affect performance a lot, and that's what also we are trying to use a lot of in our builds at our agency Revido. But yeah, I hope that's all. I hope all the suggestions that I gave you would help you make your app feel snappier and decrease page load speeds and increase performance. So I hope you find it useful. Please let us know if you have something to share, any feedback that you'd like to give. We'll just love it to have it from you. So yeah, I hope you have a great day, and I hope this helps you.